So come on in, sit on down. We're going to be talking about the state of Dokkan Battle as it pertains to team building, particularly going off of the tier list I made a few days ago. That video did pretty well. Thank you for all the support. If you're here and subscribed, thank you, thank you, thank you. If you're not, hey, kick it with me a little bit. Either way, it's going to be all right time. And remember, this was something to the effect of the current state of Red Zone, Supreme Battle, which we're still going to get one more of. I believe we're going to get another Supreme Battle, which may well be the hardest fight in the game. And why am I talking about this though? Well, I wanted to talk about the state of team building because Dokkan Battle currently has a notable problem that I don't know if they're going to be able to fix before the anniversary ends. I'm just going to assume that the Year 7 EZAs drop, they're amazing, and that's going to be it. And I guess we could quickly go over if they fix any of the things I'm about to address here. So Goku and, or is it Goku and Persan? Maybe it's Goku and, there we go. So let's see if the Year 7s address any of what I'm about to talk about here. Glance at their category. So one thing about the Year 7s, by the way, is that they do guard for one turn, so if they get any sort of damage reduction, which I do expect these characters to be phenomenal, guard for one turn. I don't doubt that at all. Earth protecting heroes, of course. Protecting heroes, of course. No one on successor. No one on successor. Pure Saiyans, of course. Movie heroes isn't anything. Neither are on Battle of Fate. Oh, one's on Battle of Fate. Okay, so we got someone who's buffing Frieza's team. So yeah, why am I talking about this? Why does this look both pretty good for the health of the game, seeing as there's so many characters in tier 0, tier 0.5, tier 1, you know, a bunch of characters I think still exist in the meta down here, a bunch of characters right here who I think are good enough to run, you know, aren't bad by any degree. But why does this exist as a sort of moment of pause? It's because we are at the end, and we've already seen that they have stuck their flag in Earth protecting heroes, of course, and successors. All right. The issue with successors, of course, is that this is essentially a villain tag with Vegetas on it. And while they did have the perfect chance to do something like a Goku Black, while they did have the chance to do something like a Fuse Zamasu, while they did have the chance to do something like a Fuse Zamasu and Goku Black, they sort of just didn't, right? And I guess that's fine. I'm not gonna shit on the anniversary characters as a whole. I think I have talked about the fact that 2 Tournament of Power characters is super odd, but do I think they are undeserving of the moment? No. I mean, no. I think this is the end of Super. It is a big moment, undeniably. To call it not worthy is, you know, it's ludicrous. There's a difference between saying, like, I don't really care about this moment as, like, 10th anniversary worthy, and I don't think this moment is hype at all. I mean, it's obviously hype. If you were there, if you were watching at the time, this was crazy. You know, seeing this happen on screen was insane. And then we go over to Vegeta. I would say that of the choices, this one is the weakest. This is the weakest choice in a vacuum because 10th anniversary level, Vegeta has moments that are 10th anniversary level. And I don't know if they're in Super for me. Ultra Majin Vegeta released in Dragon Ball Legends. I think Majin Vegeta is extremely popular and would have helped villains and is 10th anniversary level actually. It would have also ding ding ding. Hey, this is a Majin Buu Saga character, right? So I do think this is the weakest choice in terms of, like, is this Vegeta's most iconic moment? I don't know. But so where is the other issue rely? So successors is basically a dead tag. Piccolo's on it, villains are on it, Vegeta's on it. Without villains, this is going to be a villain tag eventually. They will most certainly not make this some weird good guy tag. This is a misstep. This is a misfire. If we're rating ding everything they did in the 10th anniversary, this is a genuine misfire. It's a terrible category. This doesn't make any sense. And remember, at the start I said, if they don't make this a villain carnival, like a genuine villain carnival, they messed up. Or a genuine villain DFE, they messed up. And they didn't, and the tag is like terrible, right? So we are sort of in the aftermath of that. It just is what it is. They could have made it good, they made it bad instead. They had a lot of options. They could have made, instead of making Goku and Frieza, they could have made Gold and Frieza. Instead of making Goku and Frieza, they could have made Goku Black, who is definitely 10th anniversary worthy, by the way. And I say that as someone who's not like the biggest Goku Black fan. This character is insanely popular. So what does that mean for team building? Well, it means that most cases we're not running Gogeta at all as the leader unit. You know, you very rarely see this character run as a leader. Why? Because, well, I guess you can go to his tag and then go to something like your Saiyans. And if you're looking at this tag, you're like, wow, I might as well just run Vegito, huh? You know? There's essentially, you just get access to all of these characters except more, you know, as Shenron said to Piccolo, just a little bit extra, right? So you go to Protecting Heroes, and this is essentially the state of the game at large. You get Gohan, you still get the Super Saiyan 3 Goku, you get all of these characters who might be good. You know, you get this Gohan, might be good, might be just okay, but either way, they're runnable on this team specifically. And in a vacuum, this is just where the game is at. Because as we move into the other characters who, let's say, are DFEs and such, or I guess Carnivals and such, we don't really see them being powerful enough options to really consider. I mean, Battle Fate is a great category, right? Battle Fate has Gohan on it. It has the Friezas, for mentioned. These two characters are irrelevant. This character probably can get the job done still, but is a little sketchy. Jiren is fine. Beast is good, obviously. And then we're moving into like some more zany options. Characters like Namek Goku are fine. Characters like AGL Frieza are good. That said, Frieza wants to be run on extreme types or super types. Also, you're mostly just using. Okay, that's actually a good trailway into what I was going to say. So, I use Goku and Frieza. Goku and Frieza's best role is switching into Goku and being a defensive wall. What happens if you do that, though, is that, let's say you're running Vegeta's team. You're on a Universal Survival Saga. You're on Vegeta's team on a 220%, looks good. The fights take so fucking long. You know, everyone says, oh, I want to see my animations, I want to see my animations, I want to see my animations. We're now in a world where Tech LR Goku's domain runs out and you're still in the fight. You don't have two of them because you're running the 220%, right? So I guess what I'm saying is that all of this stems from not making these characters unique enough. You know, I think these characters have the worst case of identity in the entire game, because what I thought this character was going to do is that at any single point you could exchange them because they're in a tournament. Why does it matter if it's going to take 4 turns? Just let them exchange. Then you can flip back and forth with no problem at all. At current, what you do with this character is you just float them turn 1, come back, you use Goku, and you don't ever really use this Frieza because it's hard to drop below a certain threshold without just fucking dying. So instead, you have a character who is essentially doing no fucking damage, which is this Goku, and you can't run that on Universal Survival Saga. Okay, well, so those characters aren't doing damage, they aren't hitters, they aren't exploding off the screen. What that does to the team is that conditionals, time limits, domains, transformations, blah blah blah, they essentially act as anchors that tie around your neck and fucking drown you. Because you run the Universal Survival Saga team, and back in the day, you know, as early as like 3 months ago, what would happen is you'd pop this guy's domain, you'd kill the boss, and then you'd pop the other Goku's domain, and you'd kill the boss. Much like Vegito, you know, he's a finishing move essentially. And if you didn't kill the boss, everyone was safe and clothed and supported for many turns. So what they've failed to do to these super teams especially is provide adequate support for their firepower. They make characters like this who essentially have no identity. This is, again, I talked about identity before when it comes to characters. This is one of the worst kits in the entire game ever. And I know people are ragging on this character. He's not just bad. He's one of the worst kits ever. Because he doesn't do anything. There's nothing exemplary about this character. I saw someone say maybe he's good in Formidable Foes. Sure. But it's not really what the game needs. Formidable Foes has great characters already. Because it has characters like Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. It actually has characters like Frieza. Frieza's fine in there. Frieza's pretty good in there, actually. I would say that it's probably his best place to be, right? Heck, Vegeta is amazing. This is a character with a great identity. Beast is sort of on the downswing. Not that he's bad or, you know, I placed him in literally, you know, 0.5 or whatever, or 0 even. Like, Beast is a monster. Beast is not going anywhere. Anyone who's saying, like, oh shit, Beast is over, is like farming Twitter engagement, which is, I mean, the grind never stops. But you're never going to see me on Twitter going, oh my god, Beast is out here. Like, Beast is out of here. He's done. No. He is who he is. I try to just be fair. You know, I wish I had that poster spirit in me that was like, yeah, you know, Beast is shit now. Here's like a terrible picture to represent my feelings on it. But I don't know. I just got to give it to people how it is. And I think that's why y'all fuck with me, is that I just tell you how it is. But yeah, this guy is like Big Beast. He's like Beast Senior. He's doing everything Beast does. The only reason he was lower on my tier list was literally because he was an unknown. He had just come out while I was recording that, right? And I didn't want to undersell him, and I didn't want to overrate him, because that is sort of unfair to the legacy some other characters have. If we don't truly know, and we can only infer, that we're just sort of, I mean, we're doing what Twitter does, we're just making shit up. After that, though, I said, you know what? Because I do suspect he's going to be really good, I'll place him 0.5 away from the top. And now we know he is not 0.5 away from the top. He's at 0. You know what I mean? So this guy's great. He does everything. He has a solid identity. Once we get into these issues, though, we started looking at like someone asked me earlier, why is AGO Super Saiyan 3 Goku so low? I don't think he's very low for who he is. I responded in the comments. I said, this character reminds me of Gogeta from last year. Extremely good. Does everything extremely well. I have no complaints about him. But he does have glaring weaknesses. Do I think those weaknesses are like dooming? Do I think they're terrible? Do I think they make him a terrible character or make him so much worse? No. But I think they make him a solid option. And if we're honest, of the carnivals, this guy could age the best. He's a great support. He has a transformation turn, or a giant form turn. He's dodging. This guy could literally age the best of any of the carnivals, and it wouldn't surprise me. And guess what? That's Gogeta. Gogeta is a character who showed up, Rainbow Orb changed, had a great active, and wasn't after the initial wave of like fight power creep. Gogeta wasn't the character anymore that was carrying the team, but he was just so solid all year. You could at any point last year have run Gogeta and he'd be fine. I did many times, right? That's how I feel about this Goku. But the thing about, like, you know, these games, and the thing about, you know, Twitter specifically when it comes to Dokkan, it's made people think like, oh, this character's tier 1, he's way too low. No, that's great. This character is in a great spot. This Goku is perfect the way he is. I don't want him to be any different. He has a strong identity, and he helps the team, and he makes everyone better. And by the way, if you ever see a showcase with this character on it, he's probably making the showcase character look way better than you're even remembering, because he has two kinds of insane support going off, right? And that is kind of where I'm at with him. But does he take damage? Yeah. If he gets AoE, he's going to take damage. If he hasn't got the stacks, I'm just going to take damage. It is what it is. It's fine. I'm not like ragging on him for that. So where do we land, like, once we start looking at like team builds? Well, we get to the point where we're sort of going to be well a lot, which is, and Truth has already started doing this. This is something I said immediately. If you are watching a showcase, and someone turns into Vegito, and they're not just like, all right, let's just end the fight. Or someone turns into Gogeta, and they're like, well, let's end the fight. The showcase is kind of just about them. And I'm already starting to see people be like, oh my god, there's no way they made Super Saiyan Vegeta Angel and Super Saiyan Gogeta Angel so much worse than these two characters. And it's like, what are we doing? You know, classic Dokkan to just stir up like an argument over nothing. If you're running these characters, the fight essentially doesn't exist to showcase other characters unless you specifically don't transform into the fusions, because that's how strong they are, right? And I guess that just makes me wonder what they're going to do in the immediate, because we do have a Dokkan Fest coming up. It's suspected that we have an EX coming up, and thereafter we have Saiyan Day and Golden Week coming up. And Golden Week is probably where we're gonna get another like hard fight after the Supreme Battle. But a lot of people understand now that like the Jiren fights aren't difficult if you fuse. Well, no, duh. That's how every anniversary goes. But how do we actually get characters over that hump without them? Because there's nothing in the game that can challenge a Gogeta or Vegito turn. It just isn't, right? So yeah, this is just a little bit of team talk. I think that overall the anniversary has been pretty amazing, but this is sort of one of those things they'll have to address at some point, which is that, you know, like, okay, let's actually just last point. Like I've seen people underrate this character, you know, a ton. I literally woke up to someone saying this character didn't deserve the treatment he got. Well, what's the treatment he got? Because, sorry, let me just go to something really quick. Let's go to transformation boost. Let's say, all of last year, all I heard was people glaze characters like this. People glaze characters like this. People glaze characters like where's like can we get like a Majin Buu Saga character real quick? Yeah. People glaze characters like here, and hey, people glaze characters like this. People glaze characters like this. Of course, we can't forget people glazing characters like this. So, sexual harassment over here. Riz. Like, and the crazy thing is that, like, of some of those, this character blows them out of the water defensively. So, essentially, also he has type advantage against the only powerful AoE in the entire game. Also, he packs up the formidable battles stages. But, like, how is he treated? He's also, if you want to talk about the things I said before, he's one of the only characters doing what I said, which is that if you run teams like this and you can't get Vegitos and stuff on your team, you have a really hard time finishing the fight. But guess what? Guess who does it? This guy. This guy's doing like 100 million crits while not dying like Tech Broly did, while not dying like Angel Vegeta, Fizz Angel Vegeta's LR did. Like, it does feel like we're not playing the same game, but to end off, I guess, is like another big issue that we can see. That, like, Full Bauer is a little bit of a mess team, right? There's another example of like, they made a mess, and guess who could have helped? This LR Goku. Guess who could have helped? This Namek Goku, right? So, the fumbles they had this anniversary, the fumbles that I think will stick in people's minds, are the ones that hurt team building the most, which is to say the big LR fumbles, Kaioken Goku, Namek Goku, and Namek Goku's just mid, but I think him being mid is a fumble because whenever we fucking getting one again, I say that all the time. I don't want Demon King Piccolo LR. I don't care if the video gets 1 billion dislikes. I don't like that this character is not a 2-turn support, and I don't like that this character is a free-to-play unit who's just like, okay. So, yeah, I think the fumbles that will hurt the anniversary in total are the ones that are currently going to increase your chance of sitting in fights for way too long. Because when you sit in fights for way too long, some of that, like, I want to see the animation, starts to wind down into, oh shit, I'm getting caught, right? You do need to wrap up fights, but the only characters that really wrap up fights currently, consistently, are characters like Vegito and Gogeta. It's why we're starting to see Beast get hurt. Because Beast is literally necessary. But there will come a turn where Beast can't be there. Where he has to fade into slot 3. And when you do, typically you're calling on the big fusions to protect him. They baby him, right? Yeah. So, I guess that's it for now. Just a little meta report, a little overview of what Dokkan is currently, of what the problems are currently, and what we're going to be looking for going into March, April, what have you. Like if you liked the video, subscribe to join the club. We all gonna make it. Peace.